Hello guys, welcome to the video. We're going to be checking out these changes via the patch notes. I haven't got to play them myself. I don't have time this week to go into testing grounds and test via random matchmaking casual PvP. You know, without a controlled environment for custom games or whatever, I can't correctly test everything I want to test. Counters, how to play against heroes, what works against what mechanics, escape mechanisms, like you know, I heard a lot about this back dodge roll for against Centurion. They can't punish apparently, but like without being able to do it myself, I don't want to confirm any of this stuff. So instead we're going to look at this stuff on paper and see how this projects onto the character, potentially into what the character be good and bad at, what they need, what they don't need, and whatever else. In the meantime, we'll have Daddy Law on screen. If you don't know Daddy Law is a wonderful Irish For Honor streamer. So it's his gameplay you're going to be witnessing. I'll leave a link down below, and we'll just have that in the background while we're checking out these patch notes. All right, so first off, they're calling the initial test phase 1 for these testing grounds, and they have a focus or goal for it, which I'm assuming means in the future they'll have more testing grounds. They'll call it phase 2, and they'll have a different focus, different heroes or different changes or whatever else on a fundamental level, or with individual heroes and modes. Who knows? Can be used for anything. So Centurion, Glad, Warlord, I'm sure all of you are aware these are the boys under some scrutiny. We're going to start with Cent and see what these changes mean for Cent. So for his charged heavy opener, now does more damage. That's a buff on that particular mechanic. The charge portion is now between 3 and 500 instead of from 2 to 600. That is a nerf. That means it is less dangerous to parry him or attempt to parry on him. Guard break invulnerability now begins 300 ms before the strike. So a guard break invulnerability before the strike, so that is a nerf, I believe. Someone can correct me, but that's also a nerf. Maximum charged hit recovery duration for a bound opponent is now 766 ms from 1300 ms. That is also a nerf, which means he can't you know, pin someone down for a guaranteed punch. Minimum charge knockback has been reduced, so that's a nerf. Can no longer soft feint the guard break when out of stamina. I wasn't even aware you could do that with Cent, actually. That's I wasn't aware of that at all. After that, we have the charged heavy finisher. Maximum charge strike can now be feinted. That is a buff, nice little one, and you know, something that's long overdue. Maximum charge strike can now soft feint into guard break. That is good stuff. Without the soft feint, that would be kind of annoying. Maximum charged hit recovery duration for bound opponent is now 766. So again, that's a nerf to the pin mechanic, which you're all aware of. Can no longer soft feint into guard break when out of stamina, which is something I think is hilarious, and I don't recall ever seeing. Someone please link me a clip of that in the Discord or something. Then we have the jab. It can now be exited with cancels. It can be feinted. I wish to just say feinted. Starting at 300 ms until 300 ms before a strike. So the numbers don't mean too much to me on that particular one, because I haven't got to try it out. But I mean, being able to feint the jab is good. Maximum punch now moves further forward. That's good. Further forward tracking charge portion is now 800 ms from 600 ms. So that leaves a longer pressure time for you to charge if you wish to do so, and feint, of course. So I mean, that sounds like a good thing to me. No longer binds an opponent who is in revenge activation. So that's good. So before you could like just punch the shit out of people in revenge and pin them and stuff. It was extremely irritating and terrible game design. Then we have the jab combo. Maximum punch now moves further forward. Charge portion is now 800 ms from 600 ms. No longer binds opponent's revenge activation. So they're good changes as well. Eagle's Talon now does 45 and 35. That's a nice little damage buff. The zone attack can now be feinted at 200 ms on second strike, 300 on third strike. The feints cost 10 stamina. Each strike now costs 20 stamina. What that means is that his option select zone from neutral is really, really nice. Option select. It's not super strong by any means, but it hasn't got a huge stamina cost on it, which is a nice little thing to have. The damage is down to 17, 17, 17 from 25, 25, 25. So you won't be using it for probably won't be using that for, you know, big damage punishes, more than likely. Increase forward movement by 1 meter. That's Nice to have, situationally useful. All now cause medium hit reaction, it was heavy hit reaction. So, I mean, that's a very slight and inconsequential nerf. We have on to his light attack. His opener is now 17 from 15. That's good. Second light attack strikes are now 5 from 6, and third lights are 5 from 7. I mean, that's good changes. Second and third light chain damage is now 17 from 12. So they should be 17 damage to second and third light chain attacks. I don't know if they are in game or not. Recoveries from any light attacks are now all 100 MS later. It's a weird one. I'm not sure why that change was made. Increase the recovery on the light attacks, but I mean, you can let me know if some pro Centurions are there, but that's a slight nerf, I imagine. Out of lock attacks should now have the same recovery time, so that was a bug that I wasn't aware of as well, actually. On the parry counter, his heavy finishers will no longer be guaranteed, which is kind of sad. So there goes your dedicated knee parry counter, which is nice, I guess. I don't know if it still wall spats, but I'm assuming it does. But other than having a wall behind your opponent, you're not going to use it, I guess. Or ledge behind him or something like that. Fusion kick can also be dodged, so the kick is no longer guaranteed. Oof. A new link allows a guaranteed second line chain, so that should be 17 damage. But I mean, are you going to take that? I mean, unless you're taking it for stamina damage on the parry counter, which I don't know how much stamina damage it does. Or there's a wall for a wall spot behind him or an environment behind him. You're not going to do it, are you? So I mean, that's clearly nerfed. And it was a cool parry counter. It was very satisfying to pull off. So not sure why that was nerfed. Parry counter will also push the opponent less far away to allow for better heavy finisher mix-up. So they want you to go into a mix-up from the parry counter. Strange one. I'm not sure the reasoning for that. A quick throw, it's removed entirely, replaced by the same jab as after heavy attack. I mean, I'm okay with quick throw being gone on the design for that character. It was useless anyway. Having the jab as a link in seems fine to me. Since kick and heavy finishers are now launched 200 MS later on throw. Opponent's unbalanced now starts 100 MS earlier. Centurion no longer super armor during the end of the throw like other characters. So I'm not sure what that pertains to. I'm not going to pretend like I do, because otherwise these videos would be lies. Weird one. I'm not sure what the repercussions of that change are for the hero. I imagine it would make him feel clunkier. Like, if you guys are familiar with the Nobushi changes, she feels quite a bit clunkier, and her flow feels worse because of these artificial delays between things. Not sure what the reasoning for that is. Again, if someone knows, yo, I'll pin that stuff in the comments, guys. If you can tell me the reasoning for it. And then on Lion's Roar, improves synchronization between the two fighters. Not sure what that is for. And the developer comment underneath is Centurion has generally been very fun to play as, in that the charged heavies and charged jabs feel extremely powerful. However, they're not particularly effective in 1v1s against opponents who don't parry, unless it's absolutely safe to do so, such as against fully charged heavy finishers. This makes it very hard for Centurion to initiate combat. Centurion also has the difficulty that the charged heavy into charged jab the Eagle's talent endures a lot of criticism as being in an uninteractive cutscene for the victim, since all hits are confirmed. The changes here are meant to allow Centurion to strike successfully more often and feel as powerful doing it as the Centurion players have felt so far. These changes are also to allow the opponents clear points. These changes also allow the opponent clear points at which they can stop the chain if they correctly predict the Centurion's offense, dodge the jab for example. The results here intend to create a much more interactive and dynamic flow of the fight. Effectively, the cutscene is removed. Charge jabs no longer guarantee any jab. Charge punches no longer guarantee any jab. The opponent can dodge. Instead, Centurion can feint a jab and can feint the charged heavies, even during the finisher's unblockable portion. Quick throw has been replaced by the same jab because the quick throw didn't threaten the opponent. The opponent could block the light or counter the guard break. The quick throw, there's no reason to dodge and risk getting grabbed. Now with the jab option instead, Centurion can threaten opponents after any strike. So, I mean, it's quite similar design theory to Hitokiri, right? You've got variable timed heavies on Centurion from neutral, which they have because they want you to be able to get into your chain. So you use your variable timed heavies to get into your chain. Your chain consists of jabs and jab feints, charge jabs, and whatever other options or flow chart you can take out from that. Well, I have a few issues with the character design, like myself. And firstly, I've heard you could just back dodge and roll away when you see Centurion go orange. So you see any orange in the character, like in chain. So he does a heavy, he does a light, and he goes into a jab. You see the jab, you just see the color orange. You back dodge, and you back dodge roll, which will put you out of range, apparently, for getting guard broke. Like, I can't confirm that, unfortunately, because of the lack of options for custom games and to set up a lobby and stuff myself in the testing grounds. But I mean, if you can do that, that's like really bad. Just like maybe a soft feint GB from his charge punch would do it, or maybe he can feint quicker. I'm not sure. But he needs some way of shutting down that option. Otherwise, his offense is in chain is pretty like whatever. Who cares? Another issue I have with Cent and his game design is his range. Like, his range is so poor. So like consistent back walking is really unenjoyable to play against. But I mean, it's something someone's going to do. Like when you play Berserker, that opponent often does things like that because Berserker range is quite bad. So I mean, the people are going to do it to Cent. But Zerk is like okay chase. Like, it's not terrible. And I mean, Zerk is a lot more going on in this kit. And his heavy's a bit of range to get into people. And, you know, Zerk is all about getting in close when you want to be. So, you know, good spacing on that. But Cent isn't like that. Like, Cent can't, like, dash. Like, he can dash for a kick, but the kick is hilariously reactable. So it's like, whatever. What I wouldn't mind the kick being that kind of level of reactable if it had a bit more like range and it could be used in team fights. Like, if you could start the kick earlier and you could additionally delay the kick right to the end of your dodge, and you could use it for pressure on team fights, right? So, you know, external bash pressure, just something, because he has none at all in team fights. He's garbo. Another issue I have with the heroes is no chase. So a problem I have with some 1v1 heroes in this game who are designed to be very strong at 1v1 is they often can't finish someone out if that person doesn't want to die. Like, for example, the strongest defensive tool in this game is to just run away. Like that, or just walk backwards or jog backwards when you're outside of range. And it's like, that is the most, spacing is the most powerful defensive tool in the game. You know, blocking is a close second. But he has no way of like, so let's say you're winning a 1v1 with Cent. You're not a amazing ganker right now. You might have some ganks going on. Again, I haven't got the test, so that's fine. So you have ganker portion. So there's 4 roles in the minion. You have like a mid laner, you can have a side pointers, like obviously a duelist or pretty good at 2v2s. You have a ganker, and you have someone who roams and does stuff in between. Those are kind of like the basic ones, right? Cent needs chase to perform what his probable role will be. Like, even if you played Cent as a side pointer, Centurion wouldn't be able to finish people out because they would just run around a pillar or run around something like that. He needs to wait for someone else to come in. His chase is a dash forward heavy, which is hilariously bad. Easy to react to, doesn't cover a lot of range, and opens himself up to getting fucked. So on a side point, you're winning your 1v1 with this 1v1 character against another 1v1 character. You have this intense duel. He guard breaks you, you counter guard break. There's no space between you, and he fucking jets it. And he just goes around like a pillar, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing with the character. He needs chase. Like, he 100% needs chase. If you want a character to be threatening in 1v1, you can't let people just leave the 1v1 whenever they want. Because where's the threat then? It's like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to fight for a little bit. If it doesn't go my way, I'm leaving. Like, with the easy escape there, You gotta shut down runners. You gotta shut down people kiting. You gotta give him some chase. So if you're entering a 1v1 with Cent, you're in the 1v1 with Cent. Like, there's no getting out. So I'd really would like to see him get like his dash forward heavy would actually be like maybe a run. He goes into a run animation like Zerk does with his dash heavy, and he goes into a feintable heavy or something like that. He needs some means of keeping up with the opponent that doesn't expose him really hard to being punished easily. So I think that would be a really big thing for the character, for his viability. And from there, and fixing the bugs I've heard about with the character right now, you can start to look at someone who is pretty decently designed all around, if not, you know, terribly imaginative. So that's kind of like where I am with Cent right now. Next week I'll play him after the Xbox tournament, and we'll see how things go from there. I might do an update on or just do a game design review on the character, or hero design review or something like that, or just like in the context of how fun is the character to play with and against and things like that. But anyway, I'm starting to rant. We need to move on. You could talk about Cent forever. Everybody loves Cent. Let's be real. We'd all like to play a little bit of Centurion and be great at him. Up next we have Gladiator. Gladiator is an old favorite of mine. I just couldn't keep up playing because his design was so poor and infuriating actually to play as, like, in game. Like, he's an incredibly high tilt character due to his 433 ms, reflex guard, active time, which is now, thank God, much higher, 1100 I believe. So let's go look at light attacks. Second chain light is now 433. Third chain, that's from top light. Third chain top light is 433. Fourth chain top light is 433. All from 600. Can you believe they were fucking 600 like 2 years after the character came out? Fucking insane. And then on the side lights, they're 466 instead of 433. I mean, this is a good change for a buff for the character, but it's still not like, it's not something on its own that's good. Like, they would be good at all levels of play if it was in combination with something else. So like the sum of the parts are better than, you know, they're bigger as a sum or as a whole, like the design or of the offense. Kind of like BP Bash, right? BP Bash on its own, if you only had to worry about one timing of his bash, you'll dodge his bash every time. If it was the only thing you had to dodge and you're not on, you know, laggy console or something. This is normal situations, guys. No laggy console, right? Good connections all around. He only has the bash, you'll dodge the bash. Alright, so you're not too worried about his pressure. But because the unblockable has a different dodge timing and it is also orange, it takes you a little bit longer to react to whether it's an unblockable or a bash. You can't like 100% react to both. So you're kind of soft reading a bash and dodging it. Or you're making, I mean, if you make a god tier reaction, you'll be able to deal with either or, but it's very, very difficult to do both, particularly under pressure. So do you see the way the sum of those two together make both moves better, despite neither being unreactable on their own accord? So I mean, I think that's a kind of design that most people would like to see in For Honor, a combination where the kit shines as a whole rather than individual moves being incredibly powerful. It's like when you bring them all together and they complement one another in such a way. So on their own, these light attack buffs are like whatever, to be honest. After that, we have a 600 ms toe stab when opponents are OS instead of 800 ms. I'm not sure how far this will go for like huge punishes with Gladiator, but this should give Gladiator really nice out of stamina pressure, especially with the adjustment to skewer. They've added forward movement to the strike and the feint. So maybe this deals with the soft feint GB or early dodge, avoiding GB and skewer issue. Can't say if it does, but these two combined, if that's the case, that's some really, really nice out of stamina pressure for Gladiator. So that's a great little buff. Stance change, guard now lasts 1100 ms from 600 ms. So thank God it's that high. And also it wasn't 600 ms in game. There was no way that guard was active for 600 ms in game. It was tested a while back by a bunch of comp players. I think I was there. Can't remember. It's a while back, and it was not 600. So the developer comment on this is: we want to give Gladiator faster tools to improve Glad's 1v1 abilities, accelerating the light attacks and out of stamina. Fushina Ictus should make those moves more usable, and the improved forward movement on a skewer should allow for it to work in feint into guard break mix-up. So yeah, so I'm assuming that's for avoiding that issue, the early dodge issue on that skewer. The stance the stance change increase now standardized this time. All other sets of time should have a group fight situation such well. So like on these changes alone, Glad is like much better, but he still doesn't have like a kit that works together. Like there's weird things with his kit. Like why are his dash attacks so garbage? Why are his dodge punches like whatever? Like why are they so mediocre and bland and they don't do much? Like you kind of just use them sometimes for stun, and I mean for a console you probably use them for stun and to try get a light attack or a heavy feint toe stab or something, but I mean even that's like whatever, dude, you know. There's a lot of potential with the Gladiator hero, and it's not even been touched by the devs yet, so I'd really like to see them kind of take a few risks with that hero. He's got an really interesting kit foundation for a very interesting and fun hero. They should just go down their original identity route with the character, and he's like Muhammad Ali, dude, just like dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge, jumping in and out. I don't know, there's tons. The imagination's the limit with Glad's kit, I feel. After that we have Warlord. So Warlord changes are kind of whatever. It's like they're nice, but I mean ain't no one rushing back onto the character for how funny he will be, that's for sure. But his light attacks are now enhanced. You guys know what enhanced lights are. I hope I don't have to explain them. A little easier to get into his chains. Warlord's lights now have increased range. That's nice. Another good thing about the enhanced lights actually is they'll be really nice in anti-ganks for Warlord. Enhanced lights are really good for anti-gank type scenarios, especially like one's superior lights. In addition to that, so his lights carry a couple of properties on them, make him, you know, a really nice tool. But again, no one's rushing back to play how fun the light button is. Top light attack opener is now 18. Side light attack buff damage and that. Top light finisher now deal 18 damage from 20, so there's a little nerf and damage in that. So there's a little bit of extra damage. Top light finisher still has medium hit reaction to still allow ledging like before, so you can still ledge with top light finisher. It's like whatever. Heavy attack finisher, armor, and heavy finisher now starts at 300 ms and 400 ms. This is a change I actually don't like. I don't like trading with hyper armor to be too easy in For Honor. I'd rather there was a little bit more risk involved, and we're just seems to be a trend pushing towards earlier hyper armor starting on chains. And I mean, God, hit a carry from neutral, God forbid that hyper armor demon will get nerfed on their hyper armor, please God. So I don't like this trend. I think the risk reward is skewed right now in the game in general for hyper armor. I wouldn't mind hyper armor being more common, even added to like Lawbringer, but I don't want this early hyper armor startups. They're a bit not a fan, man. I thought Warlord's 400 ms was fine personally, but you guys can let me know how you feel about it. Block and stab, adjusted tracking on stab from full block stance. And it's like whatever, to be honest. Warlord's improvement to the light attack should help Warlord use these attacks in mid chain and help Warlord keep the offensive momentum more often. I mean, I don't see how you can propose a character like Warlord keep offensive momentum up consistently. I mean, more often maybe, I guess. But I mean, he's two attack chains. He's after that he has to stop. He's a headbutt with a follow-up light. After that, I used to stop. The character is very stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. That's the way the like Warlord character flow goes. And I mean, if you want him to keep up the offense more often, let him keep the flow going. Like, why cut him off constantly? I'd also like to see something done with his full block. Like, can we do something imaginative with the Warlord character? I feel like he's this plain, unbuttered bread that just sits there and he's so boring. But he's kind of cool, you know? You want him to be more fun. Because he's a cool guy. I think we all want that. Like, nice, give War some imagination on that full block. Throw a bit of imagination into the character. Oh, let him keep his offense up if he wants to bully a bit more. Why not? Why not? That's about all the changes on paper we can go through. If you want to play them, they are on PC, console. Just access them via the main menu. With that, guys, I'll catch you later. Let me know your thoughts on all this. I wish I could have done more and tested myself. Unfortunately, I just can't. I can't commit the time. We got the Xbox tourney on Sunday. It was the PS4 tourney last Sunday, and the PC one the previous Sunday. The Ubisoft Steel one. So I'm kind of playing a lot of Xbox at the moment. It'll be Monday before I come back to it. Anyways, I'm prone to ranting. I'll let you go. Have a good one. Cheers for watching the video, and bye-bye.
So you wanna be hardcore with your hat to the back, talking about the gaps in your raps, but I can't feel that hardcore appeal that you're screaming.